Let's talk about forgiveness. It's a word we all know, right? But actually doing it, that can feel, well, almost impossible sometimes. It's one of those ideas that really challenges our deepest instincts for what's fair and what's just. So today, we're going to try to unpack this really complex topic and look at why it's so hard and what it might actually mean to forgive someone. All right, so to really get into this, let's look at two totally different ways we humans tend to respond when someone wrongs us. These two paths, they really set the stage for everything we're about to discuss. So, on one hand, you've got that gut reaction, right? That powerful, almost primal instinct that just screams, I will never forgive him. It's about protecting yourself. But then, on the complete opposite end, you have this incredible story of the prodigal son, where a father is literally just waiting, watching, hoping his son comes back, ready to welcome him home. No strings attached. It's a total contrast. And this is where a character comes in that, let's be honest, a lot of us can probably relate to. The other son. He sees this unconditional welcome and he is furious. He's jealous, he's angry, and he feels this deep, burning sense of unfairness. I mean, he did everything right. He followed all the rules. Why is the one who messed up big time getting a party? And that feeling, that's the real heart of our struggle with forgiveness. And that just tees up our next point perfectly. We have to tackle this idea head on. The, quote, unfairness of forgiveness. Does it let people off the hook too easily? I mean, is it fair? Should it even be fair? You know, this isn't some new, modern question. In the source material, one of Jesus' disciples asks this exact same thing. And it's such a human question, isn't it? We want a rule book. We want to know what the limit is. Where's the line where we can finally say, okay, that's it. Enough is enough. So the disciple, he throws out a number that he thinks is super generous, 7. And you got to understand, at that time, the number 7 often represented perfection or completeness. So forgiving someone 7 times would have felt like the absolute height of generosity, a nice, clear, and very fair limit. But the answer he gets? Whoa. It's radical. It's not 7, it's without limit. And this just completely flips the script. The point isn't to keep a scorecard. It's not about operating in a system of fairness at all. The idea being presented here is that forgiveness is something else entirely. Okay, so if it's not about fairness, then what is it about? I think a huge misunderstanding is that to forgive, you also have to forget. So let's get really clear on what forgiveness actually is, and just as important, what it isn't. Now, this is so important. Forgiveness doesn't mean you get amnesia. It doesn't pretend the wrong thing never even happened. The source defines it as an act that fully acknowledges what was done, but then makes a conscious choice to say, let's start over. It's all about creating a new beginning, not trying to rewrite history. But, of course, this is where it gets messy in the real world, right? We've all been on the receiving end of an apology that just doesn't feel real. And this question gets right to the heart of it. Is a person genuinely sorry for the hurt they caused, or are they just sorry they're facing the consequences? This kind of manipulative apology can make forgiving someone feel like you're just letting yourself get played. And this quote, man, this one really forces us to look in the mirror. It points out a huge double standard we all have. We want grace for our own mistakes, right? We expect people to understand and move on when we mess up, but we can be so quick to hold on to somebody else's mistakes forever. So, where does that leave us when we choose not to forgive? Well, the source material argues it's not a harmless choice. It actually plants something really dangerous inside of you. This verse from Hebrews gives us this really powerful image, the root of bitterness. The idea is that unforgiveness isn't just a passing feeling, it's a seed that we allow to get planted in our hearts. And you know how roots work? They don't stay small. They grow, they spread, and they cause trouble, poisoning not just us, but everyone around us. And check this out. This is how that one little root just explodes. According to Ephesians, what starts as bitterness doesn't stop there. It grows into wrath and anger. Then that anger has to go somewhere, so it spills out as clamor, loud, angry fights, and slander, trying to wreck someone's reputation. And the final stop? Pure malice. It's a really destructive path, and it all starts with that one small root. This all leads to a really crucial idea in the source material, this unbreakable connection between our ability to give forgiveness and our capacity to receive it. I love this metaphor. It's so simple and so powerful. Just picture forgiveness as a door. If you decide to slam that door shut on someone else, you can't really be surprised when you find that it's also shut for you. You're on one side, they're on the other, but that door is closed to both of you. To put it another way, the logic here is all about consistency. If you're going to be the person who says, nope, that's unforgivable, then you have to be willing to have that same ruler used on you. It's a really challenging thought that directly links how we treat other people to our own well-being. Okay, so if forgiveness isn't about fairness, and we know that holding on to bitterness just poisons us, then what's the real reason to do it? This final section gets into the theological foundation for it all. This verse from Romans, this is really the core of the whole argument. From this perspective, divine forgiveness isn't a reaction to someone finally getting their act together. It was given while we were still weak, specifically for the ungodly. What that means is it isn't based on the merit of the person being forgiven. It's a proactive gift given to people who absolutely don't deserve it. And that right there is probably the biggest takeaway from all of this. Forgiveness, from this viewpoint, is not a transaction. It's not something you do because someone says they're sorry. It's a proactive decision, an act of grace that you choose to extend completely independent of what the other person does or doesn't do. So that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. We started this whole thing because forgiveness feels so deeply unfair, but we've walked through how it's actually about this unlimited grace, something that frees us from bitterness. So, if you take fairness completely off the table, what are we left with? What is forgiveness truly about? That is definitely something worth thinking about.